So as they continue to work on the racetrack, continue to bring the kids down, let's check in one more time with Drake right quick.
Well, down here with Korbyn Hayslett, of course, mostly known for his endeavors in on-wing 410 sprint car racing. Tonight, he gets to check off two things on his bucket list. First, drive a midget and race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which I think is one of the cool parts of this race. We have guys like you come out here and check off a bucket list. So let's start off with the first thing. What was the experience at Dirt Draft Hot Laps for the first time being in a midget for you?
Way different than a sprint car.
Really? I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, they're a lot dartier, have a lot more torque. So yeah, I got a lot to learn. I wish I had a little more than 3 laps before getting thrown to the wolves. Yeah, I'm hoping the non-wing sprint car stuff, the experience helps me a little bit, and I can adapt fairly quickly.
And you and I were having a good conversation earlier, too. Of course, being based out of where you guys are in Ohio, you don't get to come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway often. I think you told me you came here to a cup race one year on the road course. But now you're not only here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you're here racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I know you've gotten to go out on track a little bit, but has that began to sunk in a little bit, just knowing you're getting the chance to race here at the Speedway?
A little bit. After being in the car, the nerves have settled some, but they're not all the way gone. I grew up watching Brian. He was a guy that, most people look up to Kyle Larson. I looked up to Brian. So to just be here to run his race, to be in a midget, to be at IMS, this is beyond cool. I don't know if it'll ever sink in. So yeah, hopefully we run well and just have some fun with it.
Fairly last-minute deal for you to come out to the Speedway to run the BC39 presented by Avante Windows and Doors. I believe it was maybe decided on Thursday. Take us through the process of finding out you were going to race here this week because, like I said, it was fairly last minute.
Yeah, I was just I actually think I was watching Flo about 9 o'clock at night on Thursday, and Braxton texted me and said that he had a car available if we wanted it. I called him and then called my dad, and we kind of got this deal put together in about 2 hours, and next thing I knew, I was going to be coming here, and it all happened so fast.
Well, good to see Korbyn Hayslett here at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the BC39 in his midget debut and IMS debut tonight as we're getting closer and closer to opening ceremonies here at the BC39 presented by Avante Windows and Doors.